Hey you guys, it's your girl Symone and welcome back to my channel. If y'all could see by the title, today is another Subbie Sunday. I almost didn't record this video for you guys. Let me go like this. Okay, YouTube, just so y'all know, don't try to flag me. But yeah, I almost didn't record it because it's late already and I was gonna get ready to go out. But yeah, I'm like, I love y'all. Let me go ahead and do what I gotta do first and then do everything else later. But anyway, let's get straight into this video. So before we get into it, y'all already know what to do. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel because we're on the road. We're almost there. Give a girl a thumbs up, I already said that, and comment down below. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias: Instagram at Vivalayoshii, TikTok and Twitter at LifeWithSymone, and it will be in the description box below. So y'all, I'm not gonna read that many today because again, like I said, I'm getting ready to go. It's already 8 o'clock and yeah, I gotta put an outfit together and do a whole bunch of other shit. And anyway, so yeah, so let's get straight into this video. So I had seen this title, like right here where I had stopped, it was just so much, like it was like oh my god, like which one am I gonna pick? So this one I'm gonna pick right here, and it says a babysitting gig where I effed parents in Jamaica. The parents in Jamaica. Like what? Okay, so let's get straight into it. So it said, hey Symone, I don't miss a single video you post. I love you, girl. Keep grinding and shining. Thank you, sis. So let's get into this story. These are made up names because these people are very much still involved in my life today. Oh, okay. Okay, so in my senior year of high school, I decided to go on care.com and apply to get a babysitting job to make some extra money. Plus, I love the kids. I make the profile and everything is good. A couple of days later, I get a notification saying that a couple living in Brooklyn was interested in meeting me to babysit their 6-month-old child. I go there and they love me right off back. As time goes on and I'm rocking with them, babysitting every weekend, and I start to notice some of the things they were doing. There would be times that Jason, the father, would walk past me and gaze at my ass, or times that Allison, the mother, would walk around the house with just panties on or something. LOL, I don't know, weird shit. But I ignored it all. A couple of weeks later, they asked me out of the blue if I would be willing to come to Jamaica with them to babysit while they enjoyed their vacation. They said I don't have to pay for anything, just get my passport expedited, and that's it. Now sis, who would turn something like this down? I was all in for it. So fast forward, we go to Jamaica, and why when we got to the B&B, they start fucking immediately on the couch. I was in the other room with the baby like, oh yeah, they're wild, laughing my ass off. They're calling my name and all to come join. I'm looking at them like, I have your child in my hands, but really I was stalling, contemplating if I should put this little nigga down for a nap and go in there, but I didn't. We go to dinner that night and it was a vibe. We were all drinking, feeling nice, having a good time, just enjoying Jamaica. As we start walking back to the Airbnb and I'm pushing the baby in the stroller, Jason comes up to me and starts making out with me. Allison comes behind me as he's doing that and starts feeling on my ass and breast. I didn't give a fuck, laughing my ass off. I was here for it, and at this point it was definitely the liquor talking because I didn't pull away not once. We go upstairs and I put the baby in the bed and we go to town, bitch. He eating me out while she riding my face. He gets a pounding her out from the back and she's giving me head. Me and her start making out and all that. Then he look at me like, I want to get up in you next. Now, Symone, that man has some grit on him. Let's just say he had a third leg. So now 18-year-old me is still in high school, was taken back. But who am I to say no? And it's a threesome, right? YOLO. That man stretched me the fuck out while his wife all in my ear like, take it, baby, you got it. Laughing my ass off. That night was a movie. She ended up squirting in my mouth and all that. I felt like the man, not even gonna lie. Like, yeah, this was my first time eating some kitty cat and I'm a pro. We had sex like 3 more times on that trip and now I'm close as fuck with them. They like family, oddly enough. They made me the godmother of their daughter and all that. LOL. Sorry if this was long, but I just had to put y'all on. And no, we don't still be fucking on each other to this day. But boy, I be reminiscing on that Jamaica trip every now and then. Sis, that's crazy because I literally was going to ask, like, do y'all still be getting it in? Like, is this still a trouble? But no, that's sis, that's crazy. At least they did it the right way though. I mean, because at first when you said you was in high school, I was about to rewind back like, hold up. No, but you said you was 18. But they flew you out. At least they took you on a vacation too. Shit, they didn't just, you know, some people would just be like, come to my house and fuck on my roach. Like, I'm just kidding, but nah. But thank you so much for sharing, sis. That's crazy. Now you the godmom. And I know it's just crazy because I don't know, like, that's just crazy. I wonder what made y'all stop? Like, because of course, especially if y'all, or was it just a Jamaica thing? Like, did y'all just do it in Jamaica and that was it? or I don't know. That's crazy. Dang. It sounds like y'all have fun. Jamaica is a freaky country. Like, when I went to Jamaica, I was like, this country is freaky. Like, Jamaica is nice. I want to go back. But I'm just saying. But anyway, thank you so much for sharing this. Let's get into the next story. All right, you guys. So this next story is long. So this is going to be our last story. Because, again, like I said, your girl got to go get some food. So this one is titled, Fucked Blanked in a Mansion All Weekend. So let's see what's going on. So it says, "Hi Simone, I love your story times so much. They're always so entertaining and hilarious. Thank you. I always tune into Subbie Sundays and I've contemplated on sending you a story for a while now." And it says, "I didn't think I had a good enough story, but then I thought of this one. And I was like, okay, I just know she'll love this, LOL. I don't want to use my real name, so can you call me Coco?" Let's get into it. Ooh, okay, let's get into it, Coco. Y'all know this is not real Coco, so don't go looking. So it says, to give you a bit of background, this happened a few years back. I had to be maybe 21. I went to a HBCU in Texas where I met this guy in my Mandarin Chinese class. He went by his last name, which I thought was dope at the time, LOL. He had a cool last name, so it worked for him. But let's just call him Mars. I took Mandarin in high school for several years, but I decided to stick with the basics entry-level class when I went to college. Because I had prior knowledge, I was way ahead of everyone in my class, and they all peeped that. I transferred to this college my sophomore year, so no one really knew me. I'm not from Texas either. The school was actually 10 plus hours away from my hometown. My sister lived about an hour away from the school, so I figured that moving there would be a good move. Even though I wasn't in the state alone, I felt like it was because Texas is so fucking big. Yeah, it is. Anyway, I kind of just kept to myself and allowed people to introduce themselves to me. I've always loved to read and write, so I started a side hustle in high school where I write people's English and histories essays. Of course, that side hustle followed me to college. Word would get around, and sometimes boys would try to hit on me by asking me if to write a paper. Sometimes I'll go for it, but most of the times I wouldn't. I noticed Mars the second he walked into the classroom. He was so fine. I can't even put into words how fine he was. He was dark-skinned with pretty white teeth and waves. Immediately, I knew I wanted him. But back then, I was way too shy to say anything in person. I side-eyed him every day, but it didn't really seem like he noticed me. I saw him on my timeline one time, so I followed him on Twitter. He followed me back, and I DM'd him trying to shoot my shot. We conversed back and forth for a little while, and we introduced ourselves. He gave me his number and we texted a bit. He invited me over to his apartment, and I said yes. I was coming over to work on my Mandarin homework. She put in quotations. We had our papers out and I was teaching him some things. But that didn't last long at all. We started making out and I thought I was literally dreaming. He picked me up and he put me on the balcony of his apartment, and it was one of those balconies at the top of the stairs that overlooks the bottom floor, the living room, etc. He kept acting like he was going to drop me, so we were playing around that way. He tried to initiate sex, but I said no. He didn't push it though. I left after a while and went home feeling like I was on a goddamn moon. It's important to note that I was a virgin at the beginning of the school year, but bitch, by winter I was not. I was talking to this really cute guy from my hometown, but he went to Howard in Washington, so we were very far from each other. Even without the distance, he made it well known that he was not taking my ass seriously. He let me know up front that he would be fucking other girls and that he was a hard pill to swallow because I had never had sex before, let alone with him. I think I had a lot of insecurities around being a virgin at 19 and a lot of insecurities within myself. I've always been a sexual person, but that was hiding once I actually started having sex. Anyway, one day I saw Mars tweet about how he needed someone to write an essay for him. I DM'd him so fast. I was like, okay, this is my chance to get close to him again. After the day at his house, we smoked together in his car a couple of times, but we kind of stopped talking. I wasn't tripping about it though, because at this point I was talking to a couple of different guys and trying to figure out what this sex thing was all about. At this point it was December and I wasn't a virgin anymore. We started talking about the paper and how he needed it done that night. I joked with him about how last minute his request was, but of course I did it. He paid me and I thought that was that. To my surprise, he asked me if I was going home for winter break. I told him I was going home, but not until a few days later. He asked me if I wanted to hang out, and of course I said yes. Went over to his apartment, and we ended up having sex. That night. Mind you, this was probably my third time having sex, but I didn't let him know that. I didn't know how to ride, but I don't think he noticed because he seemed to enjoy it. Again, I left his house that night feeling like I was a goddamn superhero. I remember the guy from back home that went to Howard. He texted me and asked what I was doing. I told him I was on my way back home, and he asked me if what I had been doing, or why I was out so late, and I just laughed. I don't remember what I said, but whatever it was, I know he got the picture that he wasn't the only one messing with other people. I think he knew at that moment that I wasn't a virgin, but I didn't care. I felt so empowered. Fast forward a couple of years, I hadn't spoke to Mars in a while. I hadn't got into a serious relationship over the winter break, which lasted 2 years. I didn't expect to get into a relationship or anything like that with Mars. I wasn't sure what I wanted with him, because when I met him for the first time, I was a virgin. I thought that I would double back to him with friends and benefits type thing if something ever happened to my relationship. I only stayed at the HBCU for a year or so. One of my parents passed away unexpectedly, so I came back home. I started a downward spiral and got really addicted to pills. Oh, I'm so sorry, sis. I had no idea that I was taking pills laced with fentanyl. I ended up going to rehab, and I've been sober for almost 3 years. But before I got sober, my family thought that it was a good idea if I went down and stayed with my sister for a little while in Texas. They didn't know for sure about the pills at the time. Just knew that I was wasting my life away, not working, not doing anything. My boyfriend and I had broken up for good, so I hit up Mars and let him know that I had been in Texas. I decided to stop in Dallas so that I could see him. I told my family that I was staying with a friend for a couple of days, and I headed to Houston. He gave me his address, and he said his parents would be out of town for the weekend. Mars was a couple of years older than me, by the way. I pulled into the subdivision, and I was like, what the fuck? I was surrounded by all these huge houses. They were mansions. Don't get me wrong, I've seen plenty of nice things. I've traveled to Italy, Dubai, etc. But I've never known anyone who personally lives in a mansion. He also didn't give off that vibe, so I was surprised. He let me in, and it was even bigger on the inside. The house had this old Victorian cathedral type vibe. It was fairly empty and didn't have that much furniture except for the bedrooms. But I think he told me that they were moving soon. I didn't care though. I took a shower that night, and the next thing I know, we were having, y'all know. I can't even count how many times that we did it that weekend. In the morning, in the middle of the night, in the middle of the day, in the shower. Looking back, I'm not sure how I wasn't sore or worn out. Knowing me back then, I probably was sore, but I just took one for the team, lol. Plus, I was high off pills, so I probably didn't feel the pain if there was any. During that weekend, he asked me what I wanted to do, and I let him know that I wanted to go to the museum. We went to the museum during the day, and we had blank in the restroom there. Oh, I'm not sure whose idea was it. It was probably mine, laughing my ass off. We went into this big store, and he bent me over, and we did it that way. That was my first time having intercourse in a public place. It was so fun. The main door wouldn't lock, so anyone could walk in there, and I think that added to the excitement. The entire weekend was drugs and a lot of blank, y'all know, doing it. It's all a blur. Eventually, he had to go to work, and I had to go back on the road. Thinking back, I was moving so recklessly back then. That weekend, we didn't use any protection, not once. I got tested, and I was okay, but I would never do that again. Thank God nothing came from that. I haven't spoke to him since then, but it does cross my mind every so often. He unfollowed me on Twitter, so I unfollowed him back. Or maybe I unfollowed him first. I'm not sure, lol. As fine as he was also kind of lame. Well, I guess back then I didn't see him as lame, but I do now. He's one of them inspired rappers that I've been trying to get discovered for the last 6 years. I went and looked at his page, and he doesn't seem to be doing much. I think I noticed that back then, and that's why I didn't care to pursue him as a boyfriend. If he did unfollow me, what the fuck did I do? Laughing my ass off. My memory is very fuzzy from the time I was doing drugs. So maybe I didn't text him back or something. Either way, I wonder if he thinks about that time too. That's the end of my story, and I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I'm gonna add my Twitter and IG, so that you can follow me. Yes, sis, I'm gonna go ahead and follow you, y'all. So that was it. Thank you for sharing, sis. I'm so happy that you overcame your addiction. Like, I know it's easier said than done, but I'm so happy that you did press through and you did not let that take over your life or in your life. So I'm just so happy that you were able. I'm so happy that you were able to go ahead and get through that time. Oh my God, that's so crazy though. It's crazy because sometimes when you are doing stuff like how you said when y'all was in the bathroom, I feel like, I don't know, to me too, sometimes stuff like that be like excitement, like the whole excitement of getting caught, maybe like, oh my God, like, ugh. But anyway, by the end of the day, I'll be thinking too, like, I'm not trying to go to jail for doing this. But anyway, y'all. But anyway, that's it for this Subbie Sunday. It was only 2 stories. Sorry, I feel like this was so short. But again, y'all, your girl got to head out. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And be on the lookout for the next videos. Peace out.